coming on, say hello. I'm Deborah Bucher with Deborah Bucher Designs, and I'm in Surprise, Arizona. And I have my own line of decoupage tissue, and we're kind of using a sort of one of my tissues today. We're using it in a different format than I usually do. We've got a simple project for today. I just needed something simple. It seems like I've had some overcomplicated projects lately. So we're just gonna do something fun and simple. And if you've got kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews, this is something that you can do with them. So I just took a plain old vegetable can, washed it out, and I painted 2 coats of slick stick on it. If you have Bonding Boss, that's the same thing. Because I learned my lesson on that bunny plaque that if it's on a slick surface, don't risk it, and you know, metal is slick. So I went ahead and put my 2 coats of slick stick on. And we are going to paint, and we're going to antique, and I have some little bunny blocks we're going to put on here, spell out the word bunny, and really cute carrots from the dollar store that will come out of the top of the can. And then this is actually one of my decoupage tissue designs, only I had a couple of years ago I had printed it out on rice paper and used it for some project. And so when I was digging through my used papers today, I came across and thought, oh, he's just perfect size for that can. And I think it'll be cute with the can and the carrots coming out of the top. It's gonna be cute, it's gonna be easy. I have rusted wire we might use. I have some twine we might use. And I have some pretty ribbon we might use. Seems like there was something else. Oh, there is. Cinnamon. If we want to make it look rusty, we might put some cinnamon on it. So we'll just see how it all comes together. Okay, so I was thinking I was going to paint the whole can first, but I think I'm going to go ahead and decoupage this bunny on first. And the reason for that is that way I will have a completely white background behind it. So he's a little too big for my can, so I'm going to just trim him down on here. And if you wanted to, you could like tear your edges here to give it that rustic look. But since it's obviously a tin can, I'm going to leave it squared because the labels on our tin cans are squared off like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's not going to hang there for me. So this is Dixie Belle satin top coat, and I don't want it on the back of my can, my decoupage. So just keep that in mind when you're doing one yourself. I need to have a chat. Okay, so I'm just using the Dixie Belle satin top coat. That's what I like to decoupage with. And it's going to dry on here perfectly clear. So it doesn't matter if I go outside my boundary lines on here. I'm going to smooth that down, and I'm going to use some saran wrap. And remember, this is actually rice paper and not decoupage paper. I'm going to put the medium all over this whole piece because doing a section at a time like I usually do isn't going to work on this. It's being fussy. That's working better. Okay, and then just smooth it out. And I love that you can see the ridges and the ribs of the vegetable can in here. Okay, so there we go. We've got it decoupaged on. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the top of this whole can. I'm going to go over the whole can, but I'm going over the decoupage to put a top coat of it so that it's perfectly sealed. So far, so good. Oh, guess what, you guys? I'm going to paint it drop cloth. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so I'm putting on 1 coat of drop cloth because I just want a creamy background on here. Well, I'm telling you guys, if you have an Easter card or a picture out of a magazine, or you can go on Etsy and download and print one. Some wrapping paper. And you can do something like this. And this is a really cute project to do with kids or grandkids. Wet paintbrush is working super good. Okay. So we're going to give it a dry. Okay. I'm going to go ahead just for giggles and give it a second coat. And I have the glue lines from where they glue the label on, and I tried to wear those down, but I couldn't get them worn down. So, but I have some little blocks I'm going to put on there that spell out the word bunny. Oh, and I wanted to paint the bottom too. Quickly, I'm going to go back over, now that we've got our paint color on, I'm going to go back over it with satin top coat. And the reason I'm doing that, I can use that brush. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to use Dixie Belle Van Dyke glaze, this brown glaze. And that glaze is going to give it that old kind of rusty look to it. And it's going to leave it in the indentations on here. And so by putting another coat of satin top coat on here, that's just going to make it real easy for me to wipe back that glaze and just leave on the exact amount that I want on there. Lighter or darker, it gives me the control. If I left this step off, and I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, but if I left this step off, then that glaze would be adhering very strongly to the paint and would be harder to wipe off, and I wouldn't have as much control. I might end up with dark spots, light spots. So this just gives us a barrier, a little line of protection. And I use glazes a lot. They accent things. Like, you'll see a big difference when we put this glaze on here. And I'm going to go one more coat over our bunny here. Okay, so our next step is the glaze, and I need a wet wipe. Okay, so we'll start on the back, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to do a section at a time. And I especially want to get down in all the ridges. Then I'm going to take my wet wipe and I'm going to wipe against that grain. My wet wipe's not wet enough. And we're just going to wipe against that grain so that all that texture and antiquing stays where we want it. I'm going to go along that ridge there, because that's where we're going to come back and put some cinnamon on there to make it look rusty. I don't care if I get some on my edges. In fact, I'm making sure I get some on my edges, and I'm trying to do it like randomly, not so it has a bit of a raggedy look to it. So I'm being a little more aggressive because the spot that I started in here adhered a little more. And if I hadn't put the satin top coat in between, it would really be adhering on there. Okay, so I'm going to go with the glaze down here. Super cute. And I need to do the same thing on the top rim all the way around. And see, I think the drop cloth was a good color for a base color on here. Okay, so now we've got it all grunged up, and I'm going to I don't know if I'm going to do these. I've got these little, I'm going to do them, but I don't know how I'm going to do them. I've got these little Scrabble pieces. I pick them up at Five Below. They come in a bag, and I just think they are great little pieces. I used them at Halloween, and I just want to darken them up on here. That's going to work out. I didn't know if I wanted to do this with wax or with the glaze, but this is working good. So they're fun to use on projects because you can just spell out whatever message you want on your project. And in this case, I'm putting the word bunny on the back of it so you can see the difference. Finished and unfinished. And you can leave on as much as you want or take off as much as you want. So there's the Y. Let's do the B. B for Bucher. Okay, and some glue. That should be. So I'm going to do this facing me so I get the letters on right. And then I'll turn it around so you guys can see. I mean, you can see, but... So we'll start with the B. I made sure that these were gonna fit on here, and they do. Let's bring it down a little more. I love these letters. I think that's so cute. I wish we could put our cameras correct. I am, I'm going to be switching over using StreamYard here shortly, and I don't know if that'll correct our backwards viewing or not. I hope it does. But there's our front. There's our back. I'm gonna just leave it like that so they don't slide until they're completely dry. Okay, okay. So I want to, I want to try something I've never done. And I'm gonna use some cinnamon. And this is actually gourmet cinnamon, but you could get cinnamon at the, boy, it smells good. You could get cinnamon at the dollar stores. And I just want to add a little more rustiness on here. So like, we'll do it on the back in case I don't like it, but like, just putting a little satin top coat there. And then I'm going to put a little pinch of cinnamon on there. Oh, I kind of like it. That does look like rust. So I'm just putting a little satin top coat here, there. And then with my fingertips just sprinkling on, and it goes on pretty random when you do it this way. I like how it just is so random on here. And it sure smells good. Just like a rusty tin can. So cute. That is the perfect product for rust. Okay, I think it needs a little rust up here on the top rim. Okay, so now we've got it all around the bottom and around the top. There's our bunny on the back. I'm gonna hit it with a dryer real quick because I can see white glue. Okay, so I have moss, but I didn't dig it out. So I have moss to put in here, and so there'll be mossy and grassy stuff coming out. But I'll take a picture of it tomorrow and post it with the moss and everything in it. But I'm going to stick these little carrots. So let's pretend this is the moss. And we might want one more paper towel in there. Maybe, maybe not. And then we're just pretend there's mossy green stuff coming out of the top. And these little carrots came from Dollar Tree. So cute. carrots, you guys. Okay. Canned carrots. Isn't that cute? Look at those rusty pieces. And then it says bunny on the back side. And you can just use this for a decoration on your dinner table. You can make different versions of it for place settings. You could do it with your kids and grandkids. And this is actually something that you can adapt for so many different projects. Just start saving your vegetable and soup cans. Do the soup cans have the ridges on them? I don't know. But anyway, I think it was cute. I thought it was fun and easy, a very inexpensive project, because this was a printable off of, it's a printable off of my own stuff, but you can get this off of Etsy. I don't have this one up on Etsy, but there's a whole bunch of printables on Etsy. And just a vegetable can, and these came from Five Below. They were like $3 for a bag, maybe $2.50. They weren't much. Super fun project. I really like it. It's the little things in life, you guys.